This is Vladimir Putin's billion-dollar palace overlooking the Black Sea. It has its own casino and ice hockey rink, and it's surrounded by a special no-fly zone. Underground tunnels also lead to a secret bunker.
The bunker itself is clear preparation for the worst-case scenario. He was also considering a possibility of chemical attack.
He's also thinking about defense. How can he protect himself from external threats? How can he protect himself from his own people if they decide they don't want him around anymore?
Insider decoded satellite images, renderings, and photos of his hideout to see how far Putin will go to ensure his survival. The 190,000 square foot mansion is near the resort town of Gelendzhik in southern Russia. That's 1,000 miles away from his official residence, the Grand Kremlin Palace in Moscow. Diagrams reveal that this mansion has 11 bedrooms above ground and a high-security bunker below.
The bunker was constructed to have two different supplies of oxygen. There is at least a tunnel to bring additional provisions.
A drawing shows the two tunnels are hidden in the hill under the mansion. They are around 130 and 200 feet long. Cross-sectional sketches show 15-inch thick concrete walls that appear to be blast-proof. The tunnels also have multiple ventilation shafts in case of a chemical attack that could pollute the air. And they're equipped with a fresh water supply, sewage lines, and a fire system. Everything Putin would need to survive for weeks at a time. There's also a lot of space to store cables.
There are racks and racks and racks for conduit. It can be for power, it can be fiber optic cable, for internet, for the phone, so that if the worst happens, all this power, all of this communications will continue to flow into Putin's palace.
An elevator shaft connects the tunnels. The lower one includes a moving walkway leading to the beach on the Black Sea, allowing for a quick escape. These tunnels were built over 10 years ago. That shows how long Putin has obsessed over his safety.
This is back when Putin was meeting with US presidents, when there was like a reset button. We now know that in the back of his head, he was making preparations for existential conflict with the West.
3D renderings also reveal how luxurious this palace really is.
There's an enormous guest house, there's a church, there is a hookah lounge with what appears to be a stripper pole. There is a special dormitory, a separate complex of buildings intended to house staff and security guards. There is what appears to be a comms communications center. It's got almost everything you could imagine.
These plans were first posted online in early 2010 by a Russian construction company called MetroStyle.
They were actually hired as a private contractor to dig the bunkers underneath Putin's palace. So there was a screen capture of these old diagrams. And then that circulated for years among Russians on like obscure message boards.
An anonymous source within these networks called Postman forwarded them to Insider in May.
He is a Russian man and a member of a group who calls itself Sect Z. He and his fellow diggers were against the war, and they were against the crackdown on their community that's been taking place in Russia in recent years.
But many Russians first found out about the palace in a 2021 documentary by Putin's political opponent Alexei Navalny.
Это не загородный дом, не дача, не резиденция. Это целый город, а скорее королевство.
The home is said to be privately funded by one of Putin's closest associates.
The Russian oligarch, that's the person who owns the property on paper. I believe there's evidence that Putin himself has traveled there multiple times. Now, is there a deed with his name on it that shows in black and white that he owns it? I'm not sure that there is.
Putin has other similar assets. A Russian media outlet revealed that he has a 3-story fishing villa in Finland. A close friend reportedly built the $3.2 million mansion for Putin. It is said to have a security house, a wine cellar, and a billiard room. And that's not it.
There is a lot of public funds that are going towards building and renovation of different kind of bunkers and tunnels across Russia that could be used for something better, that could be used to make Russia a better place and to help Ukrainians rebuild their country after the damage that Russia's done to it.
All leaders of nuclear states make emergency plans. The US government has a hideout under the White House. There's a bomb shelter at Camp David and a nuclear bunker at Mount Weather. But Putin's palace is different.
What it's designed to do is ensure the continuity of one person, of Putin. It's focused on him and him staying alive. And he's not going to live forever, but it's very unlikely that the palace will pass on to the next leader of Russia.